Hello everybody, this is Dedra with Paper Crafts and Planners, and I have the new Club EP Echo Park subscription box. This is the card making one, and this is the June 2022 subscription box. I'm receiving it, this is the last week in June, and so I'm getting to work on a little earlier than some months. It comes late. They ship it out on the 20th. Quick recap, this is $19.99 a month if you're a subscriber. I think it's slightly more if you just get 1 month's worth. You can try out 1 month. You can subscribe. The way I do it is I subscribe through PayPal so that they send me an invoice every month. I go and look at what the kit is for that month. I have until the 10th, I think, to pay it. I go and look at it, and if it's not something I want, I don't get it that month. Now, it does mean that when it comes up again, I will have to resubscribe because they will have taken me off their subscribers list. So you just have to resubscribe the following month if you want it. The opposite months, so July will be the big with the 12 by 12 papers and a lot more to it. It's $29.99 more if you're not a subscriber. Anyway, that's quick recap. So let me show you what came in it. You get a 6 by 6 pad, you have a stamp set, and you have some ephemera. So let's look at the stamp set really quickly. There's a thank you, happy birthday, hello dear friend, and I love this little bar or line here, this little rectangle here that you can stamp. I think these are going to fit inside, but I'll be trying those out. There's some florals, happy days, congratulations, a big hello, I love that one. Small thank you, I love you, you are the best, and some more small flowers. Now I think with this circle here, I'm going to try it out, but I have a feeling I can stamp this in a light ink color and then stamp these on top in a darker color. That would be really pretty. And then of course I'll use these for some of these strip sentiments. I don't think congratulations is going to go in there. Oh, and there's also some little X's that you can use for some little decor on there, and a little dot there. That might go in the centers of the flowers to give you a different color. Anyway, I'll play with this. I always stamp this off on just plain copy paper and play around with it until I feel like it's stamping really nicely for me and it's going to give me a good impression. So that's one of the first things I'll do. Let's take a look at the ephemera. And this is called, it's just called die cut cardstock. Sometimes it's tags and frames, and they're different. Bloom and grow. Oh, I love that for a card. Thank you. Here's another one. Thank you very much. This is a great card making kit this month. Sometimes some of the things that it says, I'm like, I'm not going to put that on a card, but I usually just save them for pocket scrapbooking. I love these little flags to decorate a card. Oh, isn't that cute? That's a little hello. Maybe on a mini slimline, that would be very cute. Or a little 3 by 3 card. You are the best. Thank you. And you could stamp something up there. Another bloom and grow. Happy days. And this pops out of the frame if you want to use them separately. Thank you very much. Tiny bloom. Little flower. Another thank you. Happy day. I'll probably make some tags too with this. We'll see how that goes to go on gift bags. Hope you have a lovely day. Thinking of you. This is our happy place. Again, that will probably go with pocket scrapbooking. So I'll put that one aside. The best memories. I'll do that also. Thanks a bunch. Enjoy the journey. I think I might put that one with the pocket scrapbooking. Hello. You are the sweetest. That would go on a long slimline card. I love that with a horizontal landscape. Congrats. Hip hip hooray. Thanks a bunch. Maybe a 5 by 7 card. That's pretty big. Do small things with great love. I don't know how I'll use that yet. All right, let's take a look. So there are 24 sheets. There'll be 12 different double-sided papers, 2 of each. So it's going to go through twice. I almost think these are fall colors. They're really pretty. And I'm getting ready to start fall. Enjoy the journey. Hello. Thank you very much. So you can see how these all repeat. You definitely get a theme to your cards. These are some kind of tone-on-tone flowers. Again, you could use this into fall. I love that. And then a light yellow with some white polka dots. This is a different print, but it looks very similar to that first one, just different colors. Slightly more pinks to it. I love these strips too. They're very usable. Now, I will say they put a little hole in these. So I usually put them in my paper trimmer and go down to where there's 6 inches Sometimes it's a little above the hole, so sometimes it doesn't quite work out and I have to go a little lower. But these strips are very usable too, even. But I found there's a lot of glue on them, so I usually cut off the top a little bit and then come down and cut the strip off with the hole. And then cut it into whatever size I want. Oh, I love this one. And now these seem more spring to me. So spring, summer, fall, they're all here. Oh, love that. Thinking of you, congratulations. Just for you, my dear friend. Love this. Almost like a, close to my heart, it has wisteria is the color. It's like a light purple lavender color. That's what that reminds me of, little daisies. Oh, I love this one. Look at that. You're probably not getting the true color on here, but there's a lot of that lavender in this. So pretty. Okay, are we starting over? Yes, I believe we're starting over. That is the first one. Again. Yes. So you get another 12 of these. So what I'm going to do now is get my card bases together, come through and take all the papers out and do just like I said, cut the glue, little sliver of glue, and then come down and cut that strip off and put it aside so I can use it also. And then I will cut at least half the cut aparts into the size that they're intended to be used. And then the other half I may want to use the back of the paper. I don't know. Some of these I do like the backs of the papers on these cut aparts. Let's see what this one looks like. I don't know. I may cut all the cut aparts off. They're not as pretty as the front cut apart. So I may do that, and then I'll make a pile. Like I said, I'll be putting some things away to go with my pocket scrapbooking stuff. And then I'll be making some tags probably. So I'll come back with my punches and my pieces cut and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, before we put together these first few cards, I wanted to talk about cutting the card bases. So I cut some standard A2, a bunch actually, and that's fine because you just cut your 8.5 by 11 paper in half, right? And you get 2 card bases out of each one. But then you come to cut the little mini slimline, which I wanted to do, and so they are 6.5 by 6.25 folded at 3.25, so you have on the 6.5 inch side, so you're gonna have 3.25 by 6.25, and then you're gonna be left with some paper. And so what I did was I took the one big strip and I cut it to 6 by 3 folded in half, so I have little 3 by 3 note cards. Then the rest of it I cut into either 2 by 3 sizes or 1.5 by 2.5, something like that sizes. And those are great for making tags. I have a tag punch that does 1.5, 2, and 2.5. And as long as the strips are that size, you can get a nice tag out of it. Also, it was good for stamping. You'll see I've stamped some things on a few of the scraps. And then I had these strips left over, and they look like this. Now, I did not save those. I had no problem throwing those away. So there was very little waste from an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock to make my card bases, but I wanted to just show you how you can kind of get more out of the 8.5 by 11 making the mini slimlines, because it does seem sometimes like it's an awful waste of paper and you don't know what to do with all those scraps, and they can really start to become a pile of even the white scraps. I do use them a lot stamping and things, and I have a little bucket or a little bin on my desk that I just keep those my light a little bit, I'm really getting a glare or a shadow, that I just keep those white ones in for stamping and for making some little layers and things like that. So okay, with this first one, I've been going through the Close to My Heart catalog that's about to expire and retire, I should say. Expire. It's not going bad, it's just retiring. The new one's coming out in August, and so this one will go away. And we've had our online convention and saw all the new stuff, which is really exciting, but I'm kind of going to miss some of this stuff. Anyway, I saw this card and I thought I'm going to case that because of these cards like this, and see what I can do with this. Now, I'm not going to do all this stamping here, but I am going to do the strips, and I'm going to copy this a little bit. So let me show you what I have. I have a piece that I cut at 4 by 5.25. This is a strip from the top of the pack, and I just cut it down to 4. And then another strip, and I cut it down to 4 also. And it is, let's see, it's 1 inch. And this, I believe, this is under 1/2 inch. Well, no, yeah, it's just over 1/4 inch by the time I got all the glue off and everything. I think it should have been about 1/2 inch, but it wasn't. Anyway, so we're going to line this up, and we're going to just take our adhesive, figure out where we want this, and I'm not going to go crazy with lining it up too much and being really super precise. Did I decide? Yeah, the floral side. But this has the little hole in it, but you're not going to see the hole when I get done. Let's see, I think let's go up just a little bit higher. I do want this to be fairly level, but there's a grid on this paper, so that's fairly easy. And then we'll put this one up above it, just like that. And I am going to put some foam tape on the back of this because otherwise it's not going to be even because of those two pieces in the middle. So I'm just going to put 3 strips on here just so it doesn't seem like the top and the bottom piece are lower, if you know what I mean, when you glue it on, so it doesn't feel like it's sinking down anywhere. Okay, let's put this on, take off this little backing. And on the picture, the this piece that they had was over to the side, and that's exactly how I'm going to do it also. Even though I don't have a bunch of stamped images on one end, I'm still going to keep it over to the side. That way it will cover up that hole there. And again, I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I think I want this. And we're going to put it on the card base. We're going to do 2 of these because one I'm doing a little bit different because I had something I wanted to use from the ephemera pack. So I'm going to change it up just a little bit. Okay, let's put this one to the side, and I'll show you all the others I made just like this in a minute. So I wanted to use this piece of ephemera, and I didn't really think that You Are My Sunshine was my favorite. So we're going to put that right on this, covering up that You Are My Sunshine. Just like that, kind of center it. I just love this Bloom and Grow. I thought it was so pretty. Now I don't know who I'm going to give a card that says Bloom and Grow to. That seems like directions, but it is cute. That little thing is so pretty. Okay, let's try to get this kind of centered on here. There we go. And I'll show you. I'm going to put this one directly down, and I'll just kind of show you what the difference is. It doesn't have 2 on it, so it's not as bad. And we're going to center this one more. But you can see if I press down, it's kind of up in the middle and down on the on each end, top and bottom. If that doesn't bother you, then don't worry about using the foam tape. I'm going to have to order some more foam tape soon. I'm getting pretty low. Okay, I'll show you all of them. So there's that one. Isn't that pretty? And then this one. And this one. I loved this Thinking of You. So pretty. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, so I've made a set of some mini Slimlines, and I'm going to put a couple together so I can show you how I did that. So these are just, again, the card bases for the mini Slimline. This is basically half a sheet, so it's about 3 by 6. So you're going to get 1/4 inch all the way around. And then I had some extra pieces, and so I cut those to 2 by 4. So they're going to go across this. And then I had the little rectangular stamp. I stamped those, and then I put either the thank you or the happy birthday inside of those. And then I trimmed around them with my detail shears. You could probably put them on your paper trimmer, but the thing about that is they have a little bit of a rounded corner. So however you want to do it. Anyway, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to just take and start at one end and do not a really big tear, but just a little tear all the way down. Oops, I got that one a little carried away. It's bigger than I intended. So I'm trying to stay pretty close to the edge with this. But no, you know, I'm not using a tool or a ruler or anything. I'm just tearing it by hand. So I have, I'll show you the other card fronts I made using this and another design. Really simple. Okay, so we're just going to put that across the middle there. Let's put the card base aside for a minute. And I put it a little higher up than mid-range, I think. It looks a little better like that. And then we're going to take one of these. This one could be a thank you, since I think I've done a lot of, no, let's do happy birthday. I think I did mostly thank yous. So we'll do this one, happy birthday. Right about there, because I cut out, so what I did with this is I fussy cut some pieces that were left over of a one of the floral papers. So I save all my scraps until the end of this. Some things will get thrown away, but some things like these little pieces like this you can use to decorate the insides or the outsides of cards. I just think that's so cute. Okay, we're going to put this on the card base. This was one of my favorite patterns, but it ended up being a little more difficult to sort of mix and match it with some of the other patterns that were in the collection. So let's see, am I getting that straight enough? Pretty close. Okay, and on the inside, I think what we'll do is just, I have these little strips, and let me see, let me cut this one a little bit, maybe at an angle like that, and we'll put this inside for just some little extra decoration. Like that. I think that one's really cute. Okay, for this one, I had all these odd size strips, so we're going to kind of put them together on a card front and just layer them up to see what we get. So let's put this one down first. Kind of mostly center it, doesn't have to be exact because we're going to do a lot of layering on this. And then we'll do this one maybe off to this side. There we go. Oops. So all of my cards are not getting on card bases today, primarily because I'm just under a time crunch. I had a vendor event last Saturday, and then I have another one on Sunday. And this one's going to be a much bigger one. The one on Saturday was sort of a new thing they were trying out, one of the local restaurants, and that is not straight. And well, I'm going to leave it. And it didn't get a big crowd or anything, but this one that's going on Sunday, it's called Freedom Fest, and it is one of the, here's one of the ephemera pieces. It is a big one in a neighboring town. You know, there's going to be live bands and fireworks and the whole business, but it's going to be a very long day from 11 a.m. when we set up until about 11 p.m. at night. They said if, you know, the customers run out as fireworks starts and that kind of thing, that we can go ahead and tear down, but we cannot pull our vehicle over to load. We have to walk out to where we're forced to park. So it may be a very long day. Well, that is not even close to straight. It may be a very long day. So there's that one. Let me get out the rest of the ones that I made and show them to you. And like I said, some are just card fronts. They're not put on a card yet. Here's this one. And this one I thought was cute. So what happened was I tore a little bit of this paper on one side. And so I had this strip and I just put it down there and then just put one of the ephemera pieces on top. And I'll put them on card bases and decorate the inside. And this one I chose not to tear because I just thought it was kind of a, I don't know, the light colors. This is just a circle I punched. And again, I had this strip and I just flagged the end. And then I used a punch I have that does a 2.5 inch shape like this, a scallop circle. And I use one of the strips, put it across. And you'll see these strips are different widths because it's what I had as I was working with the collection. And this hello stamp is from the stamp set. And I inked around these edges because it just looked odd for the plain white to be on top of the card base there. And here's another one I tore, and I used a little piece of the ephemera there to go with. And here's another one with some ephemera. And this with the thank you. I really like how all of these turned out. And like I said, I'll be putting them on card bases and fixing them up a little bit more. And I have some extras of these to use up. Okay, moving on to the next card. Okay, on this next design, you remember those little strips of white I told you I threw away? Well, I pulled one back out because I decided to take 2 strips I had left over of 2 patterns that kind of look nice together, but you know, I probably wouldn't have put them together, but I do like the way they look. I just took a little flag piece here, and here's one of those thank yous that I stamped earlier. So let me show you. We'll put this one together. This one I think I'm going to put the floral at the top just because it's a little bit smaller. The strip that I had left over on this one is a little bit smaller. And all I'm going to do, these are cut at 4 inches because it's a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece. And I want to, oh, I'm sorry, this cut at 5 1/4. And so I'm just going to try to leave the same amount around as on the side, at the top is on the side. So, and then I'm going to put this one on. Same thing, I'm going to try to leave about the same amount. I'm going to put it on. And then on this one, rather than get one of those strips out, this is not evening up exactly, rather than getting one of those strips out, I have this Hiphooray as part of the ephemera pack, and what I'm going to do is put it on some white and just put it across like that. I think that's really cute. So let's do that. And again, I'll probably do some decorating when I have more time of the insides of these cards, because I'm just kind of running behind schedule. We decided, the other thing about doing these vendor events is we decided to do them kind of last minute. Like one we had 2 weeks notice, the other one we had 3. So yeah, that's how we roll. Anyway, okay, moving on to the next card. I really love this one, how sweet it is. So this was that circle stamp that came with the stamp set, and I did it in a light, I did it in Close to My Heart Ballerina. I'll link some of the colors I used. And then I did that scallop circle punch out of a floral piece, which is why I had so many floral piece scraps to fussy cut flowers with. And then I had this strip, and so I just flagged the end and put it on top of a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of polka dot paper. So let's do another one here. This one I'm going to do a little bit different, but let's flag the end of this. I do like that look. So just go up the middle, and from the corner up. Let's see, I didn't quite go far enough. And then out to the other side. Okay. I'm going to put this piece down first. And this is, like I said, this is a standard A2 size card base. So this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. So it's a little 1/4 of an inch all the way around. This one's a really pretty floral print that I love. It's the same one as there, I believe. And then we're going to put this flag piece down. I love that they gave you these back sides with, it has a little detail to it, but it's more of a solid color, so you can kind of coordinate and do some of these effects with it. This one I cut out of polka dot paper, the same one as there. And rather than do that circle stamp, I'm going to use up another one of these little pieces that I had already done that I have left over. Use this thank you. And there we go. I think these are both super cute. Okay, with this I just wanted to give you some ideas of what you can do with your scraps. So I cut these little 3 by 3s, and you see I had another piece that I had torn and I didn't use it, so I cut it a little bit smaller, and then I layered a little thank you that I had left on there. This one I had one of those happy birthdays, so I had a strip that would go across and a little square. So you get the idea. I just kind of layered things up and used what I had left. I still have a lot left to do this with. I stamped a congratulations from the stamp set. And then here are some tags I cut. Now this was a piece, I'm going to cut the end off there. That kind of goes over. Maybe not. So this was a piece that I had left over from fussy cutting some flowers. And so I just had a scrap piece and I cut it in my punch right here. And I cut a piece of white also that was a scrap. And then I just layered that on. And So you can see I just, you know, some ideas. So maybe you have this piece left. You could cut it down to layer on here and then put the hello on top, whatever you have left going on. This one won't coordinate, but you know, the thank you on top. So just kind of play around with your scraps so you can use them up. I'm afraid I don't have time to make a whole bunch because I'm under the gun right now, as I said. But I think I've made quite a bit with this. So let me pull everything back in and I'll show you what I've made. Okay, so here are the A2 size cards I've made. By the way, I apologize if my camera's been doing something weird, like trying to auto adjust. Hoping I can fix it in edit, but if not, I apologize for that. It had some kind of a reboot or a update, my camera, and I didn't realize it was doing some crazy things, but apparently it is. So hopefully I can fix that when I edit. And here are the mini Slimlines. Not all of them are on card bases, like I said, right now. But I think they all turned out really cute. Just so many possibilities with these paper collections. And I hope I've given you some ideas of what you can do with them. But I know when you start playing around with shapes, and maybe you've got some punches or you're going to tear some paper, whatever you decide to do, and you see the strips that are left from doing other cards, you'll get some ideas of your own of what you can do. Or get out a catalog, or go on Pinterest and kind of get a plan for a card and case that card. Make it your own, but you know, take the idea from there and just run with it. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy crafting.